hosted servers, hosted virtual servers in co-location. There's obviously huge companies like Rackspace that want you to take your devices or your hardware and put them out in the cloud in their data centers. You manage them. It's your equipment. You're just paying for the box that they put it in and the bandwidth to supply you internet connections so that you can access it. I mentioned Ubistore because they're one of our partners. They're local data center users, Equinix, which is one of the largest facilities around, and amazing place if you haven't been there and are interested in seeing what a SAS 70 Type 2 database or data center looks like. I can arrange for anyone to visit it. It is amazing. There are retina scanners and palm readers and armed guards and clean rooms. It's amazing. So if you have any interest in that, please let me know. Okay, so I don't know what I'm doing on time. But basically, in closing, the media is trying to, get you prepared for the future by making you feel comfortable and telling you that, I'm in an airport terminal and I want to watch my soap operas. Go to the cloud. Okay, that's Microsoft's whole campaign. Right? They're trying to, I don't want to use the term dumb it down, but honestly, all these technologies that you're seeing, IT guys have been doing it for 10 years. They're trying to make it everybody friendly. So that you guys can go out and say, all right, hey, well, look what I saw on TV, I can do that. Well, you probably could have already, but now they're trying to open the doors to the future possibilities that the Windows 8 operating system is going to have a lot of cloud integration. They're going to try and build upon a competition to Google Apps. Right? Google Apps for Business is very popular for small businesses that don't want to buy servers and want to do calendar sharing and document sharing and collaboration. Okay, it works great for small businesses. Sometimes you outgrow it. Microsoft is going to come out with a complete exact replica of that service and is going to integrate it into their operating system. So when you go to your My Documents, double click it, it's on their servers. So you log into your PC at home, you log into your PC at work, your My Documents is following you wherever you go. No more need to remote access your machine to get the file. They're already remote, right? So there's obviously different aspects of that. I mean, now that everything's going cloud-based and everything's software as a service, why do you need to have that anyway? What's the benefit? I mean, all my applications, I don't need to access them remotely. You can go to my PC or log me in. I can just open up a web browser. So there's obviously the next 5 to 10 years are going to be a huge transition and a tug-of-war battle between all these vendors who think their cloud service is the best. And they're going to be in cahoots with each other and probably try and buy each other out. You're going to see a lot of companies buying other companies. So just know that there's lots of different ways to do the same thing and accomplish the same task, and everybody's going to tell you that theirs is the best. So, like I said earlier, consult your IT consultant before you make any decisions you might regret. Because of the popularity of the to the Cloud campaign, a lot of people may instill overconfidence and make bad decisions. There's a lot of things to consider. Like I mentioned earlier, I'll reiterate, bandwidth is a huge issue, right? Do I have enough bandwidth to support the number of users that I'm going to push across the cloud? So bandwidth is an issue. We started introducing Ethernet, high-speed connections, and 100 megabit download speeds. It's going to get more and more prevalent. That it's going to be more appetizing for you to go to the cloud. Do you guys remember 100 meg connections at your office? It was pretty fast. Right? If you had that speed on the internet, everybody in the world is connecting at the same speed. Think about how scary that is, really. I mean, security is only as good as we make it, and only as good as it is functional. Right? If we can't do our day-to-day job, what good is security? Right? We've got this great security appliance, so it stops me from doing everything. Well, guess what? I can't get on the internet. I'm totally secure. You know what the best security is? Unplug it from the wall. That's very secure. Okay, but is it practical? No, it's not. So, bandwidth, database platforms, depending on what kind of applications you have. If you're in manufacturing, you're probably using an old ERP system that's running Fox Pro, or maybe it got upgraded to SQL if you're lucky. Those applications are going to be difficult to virtualize just because there's no support for them. Microsoft doesn't support Fox Pro, and I've got to support several Fox Pro databases that I don't want to, but I do. Because they're there and our customers have them, and they're not going to spend $500,000 to upgrade. So application development, the type of application, how it's developed, what kind of code, is it PHP, is it ASP? There's a lot of things to consider how it's built and whether or not it's going to work for you. obviously infrastructure. What kind of server infrastructure? How much CPU do I need? How much memory do I need? How much disk space am I going to need in order to grow into this application and use it company-wide? So if you don't have a resource for discussing the cloud strategy, please consider us as a valuable resource. I enjoy talking about it. I think this this presentation has gone well. Nobody's fallen asleep on me. So I am very excited about what we do. I'm very excited about cloud computing and bringing any kind of enterprise-level applications down to the small, medium businesses. So that's kind of what we founded our company on, and that's what we continue to do. Try and find ways for smaller companies to leverage the things that the big guys already have. So some of our service offerings, I know this isn't a sales pitch, or isn't supposed to be, but this is just some of our overall service offerings. Obviously, we need virtualization. We sell cloud services, we maintain cloud services, we outsource cloud services. We do managed services, meaning we have agents on machines that report back to us and give us real-time alerts, so we know exactly what's going on with your machine and potentially solve those problems before you even know they exist. Obviously, server migrations, upgrades, PC Mac upgrades and installs, firewall switches, routers. So there's a lot more. If you have a chance and are interested, go to our website, click on the Standard Services tab. That will give you an idea of exactly what other service offerings we provide. There's a lot of things that are outside of our core network. But think of it this way, if there's anything that has an IP address, it's probably managed by us. Here's some resources for your business. I pulled up a couple of websites. Rob helped me with a couple of them. So if you have any questions or want to research some of this information, I'd be happy to put this information out on my LinkedIn page. So if you want to connect, I'm going to give a full access to this PowerPoint from my LinkedIn page. So if you want to see it again or look at it, we're also videotaping this today, so it'll be on YouTube, so you can get an exposure or share it with somebody else. So that is about all I had. I can open the floor to any kind of questions that you might have, if you have any. Sure.
I deal with a lot of companies who like PLS or something that want to go to private network, and they're scared to have it get in.
Sure.
You got everyone out there cloud computing and you're doing that. I know you can encrypt it, but people get worried about security in this situation, especially with a lot of critical data for medical, like you said, use MasterCard in every small business. These MasterCard will probably use, and there's some compliance going on with that also.
Right. Yeah, you're not going to ever get away from those private networks. There's always going to be huge companies that are going to, either want to leverage the MPLS networks for security reasons or, avoid so that they can use, least cost routing. Which, if you don't know what that is, it's basically if I've got a phone system in California and a phone system in Chicago, why would I make a call from Chicago to LA? I would call outbound from my LA branch and make a local call. So yeah, to answer your question, there's probably not going to be any kind of replacement to MPLS. I mean, there's still going to be that need. I don't know if I'm answering your question correctly, but
well, my question is more: do companies get scared about the security issue because all their employees are now using their own internet connection or their home or
Yeah, there's new resources coming up all the time for data loss prevention, right? I mean, now that we have all these tools and they're all accessible everywhere, I've got a salesperson in Wisconsin or Indiana or wherever. That salesperson's going to be accessing the same information as everybody else. They may be, accidentally forwarding a credit card number or forwarding a driver's license number, social security number. So there's applications that you can put in place that will monitor those types of activity, almost like a spam filter would. It'll take you to a quarantine. So there's ways around it, and there's things that you can put in place to enhance those types of features, but those are always going to be security risks. There's never going to be any guarantee. Like I said, the best security is not disconnected from the wall, no internet connection whatsoever. If I unplug this from the Wi-Fi connection, this is as secure as it gets. So to answer your question, security is always going to be an issue. There's always going to be somebody that has some sort of zero-day exploit that I don't want to scare you because this may sound scary, but if somebody wants your information, they're going to get it. There's no ifs and buts about it. It's either going to be through social engineering, script execution, or vulnerabilities within your applications. So there's the best hackers in the world I'm a certified ethical hacker, so I've gone through classes on how to reverse engineer and look at what people have done to hack into systems so that I can see the traces left behind. The best hackers in the world are social engineers. So there's no need to stop, Bill from calling up your office and pretending to be your IT guy.
Would most of the servers have myself compared to one in the cloud, just one less secure than the other, and it's probably less secure since you're accessing the internet.
Well, are you connected to your office from a LAN, or are you connected to
Well, probably if I have a book people, they're probably coming there through some type of VPN.
Right. Yeah, it's not going to be any different. It all depends on the encryption level. So that's why it's important to understand what bit rate are required and how long can you go without. So here's the analogy. Everybody hates that we always enforce some sort of password complexity or password requirements, right? You guys hate changing your passwords every 3 months. Well, there's a reason why. What's that? Right. So you all agree that it's a pain in the butt to have to remember all these passwords. Well, the reason for it is not because we don't like you. Okay? It's because every 3 months is the typical time where somebody could listen to your traffic publicly and decrypt it. Okay? So anybody listening long enough is going to finally get enough information where they can decipher what you're saying. So if you have some sort of policy in place that says I need to reset my passwords every 3 months, then you're probably going to be more protected than somebody who keeps the same password as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for 15 years. So that's why that's done. So I hope that answered your question. Anyone else? Okay, well, I'll be available. If you have any other questions, feel free. My cards are up front. I'd be happy to talk to any guys offline. And thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak today. Thank you.
All right, I want to thank Brian for his presentation. Again, another round of applause for Brian. All right, yeah, let the meat take. We have dessert, so please dig in. And again, if you've got any other questions or what have you, Brian will be here for the rest of the hour. We also took the liberty of making out a printout that we've got back at the registration desk that has an outline of the resources that Brian was talking about, if you want to learn a little bit more about cloud computing. And that's about it. So again, thank you very much. We're here until at least 1 o'clock, and those of you who have to get on, you can do your day. Thanks again for coming.